ready? Good evening, everyone. I would like to call our regular agency meeting to order at 5:05. We're located in the village of Broadview at 2350 in the village chambers. Celeste, can we get a roll call, please?
Mayor Thompson.
Yeah, here.
Ms. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Nosek.
Here.
Ms. Carreco.
Here.
Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? So I'm going to ask everyone to just, let's do a moment of silence for Mayor Perry and pray for his health and his family well-being. So if we could just take a moment of silence for Mayor Perry. Thank you. It looks like we have no public comment, no public is here, so we'll just keep moving right along. Everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes from October 28th?
Yes.
Any questions or comments?
No.
Can we get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 The monthly financial report for November 2021, I know Kelly sent us over a memo for the monthly financial report. I don't know if anyone, members of the board, have any questions or comments about the financial report that was reported from Kelly?
None.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Jones.
I was reviewing the report, and I brought this up to the superintendent. We had an extra payment that was made, well, extra 2 payments that were made. The numbers are different. So on the report that was sent to us, it was a certain amount, and then on the actual agency report with the numbers and the financials was different.
So what are you talking
So
about?
I'm asking if a superintendent could catch us up on why the difference.
Okay.
Good evening, good evening, Mayor and Board.
Good evening.
Just really quick for the financial report. The actual agenda originally stated a grand total of $385,855.31. The financial report was sent out after I sent all of this to the board. So the financial report, grand total is for the check numbers of 16322 through 16344. And that total is $2,197,046.31.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm confused. I don't see those. Well, the check numbers that I'm looking at don't reflect what you're talking about, Ms. Jones, the comment that you made. I'm just confused. Are you guys on page what Ms. Jones is referring to and what the superintendent is?
No.
So you guys gonna have to bring us up to speed because she's asking you to give us a report. She's not disclosing the numbers. We don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so if, in the checks, there were a total of with this one, there'll be one check added to the financial report, and that is for, check number 16345 to Orba Group for $42,998.10, which should bring the new grand total to $2,240,044.41. So it should be check numbers
Whoa.
16322 through 16345.
So you added the
jumps to-
check after,
Yes,
and what was the check number for 16345?
The, check number 16345 is for Sierra Group for $42,998.10.
How about for 16344?
The Hartford Group, correct?
Because the report only the agenda goes to 16343, so
Right.
16344 is also missing.
Oh, I'm sorry, and 16344 to the Hartford for $11,191.
Yeah, on the list, but not on here.
And it jumps to $2 million now? Because on the agenda, it's 385.
That figure was given to me by the accountant, but as I said, the financial report was sent out
Doesn't make sense.
later, I want to say 10:55 at night.
Okay,
So the new grand total, instead of $385,855.31, it will be $2,240,044.41.
can I ask where check 16321 is? Because there's a difference between the start and end of last month.
That I do not know. That would be Kelly.
I'm confused how we get from 385 to 2 million when we are
Well, that
only
was the
adding.
transfer of the Illinois funds, the $1.8 million.
Oh.
So that, I know that's how we got to the 2 million. So we had the $2,197,046.31 added to the 385,531 plus the Illinois plus the 11,000 for the Hartford insurance, the liability. So the total amount for the financial report. So they missing, it's a check missing out of here, which is the Hartford Group. It's added on the check detail, but it's not in the report.
How much was that Hartford check?
$11,191 and even, so $11,191. So if we add the,
Okay, I got it proved out.
so you,
2240.44 So that equals, the 385,855.31 as indicated in B1, item B1, plus the 42,998.10, check number 16345, plus check number 16344 for 11,191, plus transfer of 1,800,000, totals $2,240,044.41.
I got $2,197,46.31. That's the 385 plus the 1.8 million plus the $11,191.
Plus the 42,998.10.
You added another check,
Oh, you added,
Madam Mayor. Yeah, superintendent just said it's a new one added. Check number 16345.
and what, so I have a question. So if we're coming to a board meeting and we're adding checks, what was the purpose of adding this check at the last minute?
This
I
Sierra
got it.
Group is for the reservoir project, and it was sent to me at the last minute.
So was it a deadline for, was it a criteria for the vendor? Because typically if they send us things at the last minute and and Kelly is not here for us to ask questions as it relates to the financials, do they know that we meet once a month and when we moved this meeting up because of Thanksgiving?
So, yes, so normally when they would send the invoice, we would have it ready for the regular scheduled board meeting. But since this one was moved back, it was kind of like last minute trying to gather everything together.
Okay.
And who is that check to, the 42,000?
The Sierra Group,
How do you spell spell that?
It'll be CIORBA.
So- Okay, I figured you would know who they were, so, thank you, Jim. Okay, yeah. Perfect.
Okay. So we clear on the numbers, correct, okay. So can we get a motion and a second to approve the financial report?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, so can we get a roll call, please?
Mayor Thompson,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Nosek,
Yes.
Ms. Caraco.
Yes.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next on the agenda is old business. One, the status report, expansion of the water agency reservoir capacity at 10th Avenue Pump Station site and reservoir project financing from water revenue bonds and refunding of the IEPA loan. Any updates, Mike?
I know we're still on schedule to close before the end of the year. We're wrapping up,
Update for the schedule on
Okay, that'd be good.
But from the legal end, everything's moving forward.
Okay,
Yeah, so final plans have been completed, and it was being advertised in the paper on Monday.
oh, okay.
The bid opening will be December 17th at 11 o'clock at the pump station. There will be a pre-bid meeting we would like to hold on December 7th at 2 o'clock. They would like to have it here and then walk to the station to do a walkthrough with any contractors that want to see.
What day is that for here?
Tuesday, December 7th at 2 o'clock. I'll send an email.
Okay, just make sure Lily knows that she could put it on
Yes,
there.
I will do that. I would like to send a copy of the notice to both villages, so if you want to put it on your websites.
That'd be
So
good.
I will send it to you, Mayor, and I'll send it to you, Paul.
Yes.
Okay, so that you can put it on there. It's advertised in the Sun-Times. The agency doesn't have their website up yet, do they? No, okay, but we'll put it on both villages and make sure that it's well attended. So the bid opening would be on the 17th. We would analyze the bids, and for the meeting in January would be the recommendation for award.
Oh, okay.
And construction start in March, April.
Thank you, Jim. Next is status report on purchase of 1014 to 1020 West Roosevelt Road properties, Broadview, Illinois, by Housing Forward. Mike?
Yeah, what, Housing Forward has asked for some additional time, to extend the due diligence date. I mentioned at the last meeting that they had not secured all their multi-layers of funding. And so they're asking for an extra 4 months, 120 days, which is a reasonable request, given they have a multi-tier funding ladder for this project. So they sent me over a First Amendment to extend the contract for 120 days. My recommendation is it gets approved. There is a resolution, if the board's inclined to, approve this by resolution.
So the last time that Housing Forward was before this board, we assumed that they had all of the financials secured. Did something happen, or?
They said that they have, out of about 7 layers of financing, they're short about 2, and they're just having issues trying to get things locked in place. If the board feels like, you want them to come, back and have a presentation, that would be appropriate.
I think that would be needed, because everything that they've asked us to do on this board, we've done, and
Yep.
both municipalities have complied with their request to put this project online. So now, it just seemed like it's procrastination at this point, because we had some work that we needed to do, and most certainly the Village of Broadview. We've yielded the property over to the agency. I know Westchester did it at their last board meeting, and now they're talking about, the funding was secure when they came before us at the beginning. So I'm kind of curious of what happened.
Yeah, and I know just from personal experience, interfaith housing, I worked on a project similar, multi-tier. It took 2 years of kind of fits and starts and continuances before all those tiers fell in place, and they were able to build that building over in Maywood on Fifth Avenue. So, that's my only point of reference, that I'm not surprised knowing how these multi-tier type financing deals work, but we could defer this till December, and we could have them come at the December meeting, if you want. You certainly are within your right to terminate the contract, right, because they're asking for something beyond what the contract terms are.
I think
mean,
it's
so your
fair for them
options
to
are-
come before us to explain to us what's taking place as a multi-tier, because like I said, we were under the impression that they had all the funding secure, and now they waiting on some other tiers, so I don't know if they waiting to, it's another pot of money that they want to go after when they said that they had the funding for us to get the ball rolling. And so we've done, I mean, we know within our rights, we've done our due diligence as relates to transfer of titles and stuff like that to clean it up, to make it clean so that it's easy for them to go ahead with the project. And they need to come to us and tell us what those 7 tiers of layer of financial revenue, because if they're going through IDA with the tax credits, they got flush with cash. They have.
Yep.
And for them to say, we only gonna take this, they need to explain that to us. So I think I'm with the rest of the board, but they need to come back to this board and ask for the request instead of just, we making that type of consideration. They need to tell us.
Well, then I would recommend we defer this, postpone it to the next board meeting. I'll
Okay.
ask them to show up at the next board meeting. It's, again, it's not like we're holding anything up, so.
Right.
Our inaction
continue
today
on.
doesn't hurt them in any way, shape, or form, so I'll make that request, and I'll have this on the next agenda in December.
Okay, I appreciate that,
Sure.
Mike. Thank you. And so I guess that's A,
Yes, that is A2,
and then we got 3A.
and this is just, every year you're supposed to, per the Open Meetings Act, adopt your next year's annual meeting schedule. I put together a suggested schedule and a calendar that meets with, how we've met this last year. At Broadview, 5 o'clock, on the typical Thursdays, unless it's a holiday where we push it up a week. So if that's okay, if the dates look good, it's ready for approval. If you have to change your meeting schedule at any time during the year, we can make that change as well.
Everybody good with the meeting schedule? Okay, do we need a motion to accept?
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion in a second,
So
please?
moved.
Second?
So can we do an all in favor, or do we need a roll call for this? It's not a financial
You can
matter.
do a voice vote, is fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So new business, consideration of approval, November 2021 finance report, reoccurring agency expenses and vendor invoices in the amount of, I wrote it down. What is it, Mr. Nosak?
It's 2,240,044.41.
Thank you. And then the check numbers are,
16,320.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Celeste.
I'm sorry. 16,322 to 16,345.
Yes, that's correct. We need a
So
motion
moved.
in a second. Celeste, can we get a roll call, please?
Sure. Mayor Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Nosek?
Yes.
Ms. Krakow?
Yes.
Thank you. Next is consideration and approval of insurance coverage renewals, comprehensive general liability coverage, personal property coverage, automobile coverage, and cyber coverage from Illinois County's Risk Management Trust and Workers' Compensation coverage from Hartford Insurance Company. So we do have the proposals. It was in our packet. I know they did add cybersecurity onto insurance because it got added to the Village of Broadview as well, so I know that's included in there. I don't know if there was an increase or a decrease for the agency.
It looks like this is a renewal, if it's 12/1,
Yes,
so we have to
right.
approve it.
So was it an increase or a decrease by percentage? I know at some point, I know it increased because of the cyber addition.
There
Mike.
was a minor increase,
Yeah.
the broker had indicated, he sent us an email, he said there was a minor, he said that the quote was very competitive, having only a standard 4% annual premium increase, and then there was cyber insurance.
Mhm.
That's an add-on, it's a product
Mhm.
that has been offered in the past, you hadn't had it in the past, and so if you were accepted the full package with the cyber, there is an increased adjustment to include that extra line of insurance, but you know, that's up to you, the cyber, you know, insurance.
So I was
That's-
talking to Sidebarton with Mr. Nosek as it relates to the deductible, looking at some of the line items. And so I would like to table this and call a special board meeting before December 1st, so that we can have some conversations with Illinois Risk, if that's what you would like to do, Mr. Nosek.
I think they'd be able to issue it. So the questions I have really would only reduce our premium. So should we approve it? And
Is the idea to pay a higher deductible to get a lower premium?
yeah, so on a couple of these, there's no deductible, like on the auto liability, it's a zero deductible. And then I had a question as to public officials' liability. Why is it retroactive to 2006 and to 2013? That makes no sense to me.
We'll have
So
to-
why are we going back to cover that?
We'll have to ask the broker that, but, you know, maybe the suggestion is to approve as presented, subject to any amendments worked out by Mr. Nosek and the broker, which may, you know, make minor adjustments to the premium,
All right,
and which may reduce the premium.
yeah, that's, is that okay with
That
you?
we would
Yeah,
have to
no,
have a
that's
special meeting.
fine.
And we're up against a deadline
We
because
know.
of the
Yeah, exactly.
renewal period.
Okay,
And I've worked with Wesley to dial this renewal in every September. We had a switch in the brokers due to a death at that brokerage, and so that's where they didn't get back to us in sort of a timely manner.
yeah,
But I've added it to an Outlook calendar for everybody to make sure that doesn't happen. You know, so next September, this is gonna be on everybody's calendar to say, hey, where's the broker's insurance? You know, quotes, are we going to the market, are we doing the same up renewal? So we'll deal with this in September every year.
and it also looks like they're covering the new pump station, which isn't built yet,
Right.
Yeah,
for three and a half million over, so.
yeah, and we're gonna be, and that may be a post-closing, that will be a post-closing, you know, reduction. If we do sell the property to Housing Forward, there's a certain element of insurance.
No, I'm talking about the pump station.
But no,
It's
I
not
agree,
built.
the pump
Oh, okay.
station's on there, that's not built yet, so that's 3.5 million of extra value that isn't built yet.
Right.
And then we have this property, that Roosevelt property, that if we truly sell next year, at some point during the calendar year, that'll come off, and that
Right.
should give us a reduction of some
Slight.
amount in our
Sure.
premium.
Right.
So, yeah,
Okay,
I would approve it,
So-
subject to Mr. Nosek, you know, making adjustments based on conversation this week with the broker.
I'm okay with that,
okay,
because we don't want to have lapse,
no,
because they might be on vacation.
all right.
Okay, so I will call for a motion to approve the insurance coverage renewals with the, knowing that we need to
Subject
revisit
condition.
the agreement that they sent to us as it relates to coverage and some of the other items that were mentioned in today's discussion.
So moved?
Second.
Celeste, can we get a roll call, please?
Mayor Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Nosek?
Yes.
Ms. Greco?
Yes.
Thank you. Next is the superintendent's report. When is that? Next week.
Good evening, Mayor and Board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Going to be reading the superintendent's report. Regarding the water operator position, the meeting with the Village of Broadview Administrator, Ms. Jones, and the Village of Westchester Village Manager, Village Manager, Mr. Nosek, was a success. Resumes were selected for possible candidates, and there were some revisions that have been made to the current job description. The current job posting expires on November 24th, 2021. If a good candidate is not selected, it will be extended to continue the search for a water operator. there was a Zoom meeting held for the part-time assistant position. Excuse me. The position description will be revised. It will vary Monday through Friday at $15 per hour with a minimum of 15 hours and no more than 19 hours a week to stay under the IMRF threshold of 1,000 hours. The agency's website is almost in the final stage of completion. There are a few things that needs to be added and some minor changes that must be made. We will have a live launch date forthcoming. I will send a progress preview link to the board no later than Friday, November 19th, 2021 for review. For the month of November, the agency completed a total of 34 Julie locates along with daily maintenance. The station pumped 101 million 70 gallons of, 101 million 70 gallons of water. That concludes my report.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Barber? Okay, I have a few questions. So as it relates to the water operator position, so you met with Ms. Jones and Mr. Nosat, and so you all looked at the resumes of some qualified water operators, so is the next steps going into the interview, or are we just waiting until the position closes before you start interviewing?
So I'm gonna wait until the actual position closes, and then that's when we will start the selection for interviewing.
Okay, and so what's your target date to hire?
If we don't have to do the extension, I wanna say, earliest be the second week in December, maybe first week of January.
Okay, and so then my next question is, how many candidates have applied so far?
So far, the total was 62.
Oh, so we should have someone out of that group, I would assume. I don't know.
What- Well, majority of those that did apply, they were not really qualified for.
I don't even meet the minimum requirements,
They didn't?
no.
Okay. So,
Being a water operator, so I think, what did we pick, maybe 4 or 5 that were,
It was 6, because it was 3 for you
Okay.
and 3 for me.
okay.
Yeah,
so 6.
yeah, so it was 6 men.
Okay, and then the part-time assistant, so I know at the last board meeting, we have gave instructions to you and to our finance coordinator, whatever you wanna call her, to get us some information if it could fit into our budget for this fiscal year, even though we know we're getting ready to plan for the next fiscal budget. What's the outcome of that? Because I'm seeing what the numbers are, and as we look at IMRF and all of those other things, we just wanna, I'm not too concerned about IMRF because I think anybody that work for any employer that have an opportunity to get benefits as it relates to retirement, I'm for paying into a retirement plan for someone. But the thing we have to consider is our employee liability. You know, if this person should get laid off or get terminated, employment insurance and those types of things. So we want somebody that want to be at the agency and that can do the job. And so we may have to go over the hours or what that looks like or the scope of work that you all, that's needed for the position. Did you guys talk about the budget and what that looked like for us? And
We did have a meeting in regards to that position. However, Kelly was not able to provide any financials at that moment. She said that she would provide that at a later date.
did she give what the later date was?
No.
She said she had a family emergency, and that she would give it to us at the next meeting.
And the next meeting will be December?
Mm-hmm.
Based on the information given here, it looks like if you went with a part-timer at $15 an hour, it would cost the agency probably about $20,000 a year.
Yes, it came in at 19, it came in at 19.5.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
including, taxes, that's without
Okay.
the IMRF, so.
So then I would say that, based off of that, because we know that we haven't had, a salary position since, what, May, or, when did Paul leave?
In April.
In April, so we know we have that, well, we haven't been spending money in the salary category. And so when you look at that, you can use part of that salary to fill this position, because we're getting ready to go into another fiscal year. So I don't see why we can't move forward. I don't need a financial person to tell me how we can look at how we place people because of the monies we save, and we budget for it next year. So we just need to move forward and get somebody there, because I don't care who the superintendent is, whether it's you or if we're gonna seek a superintendent in the future. That person need an assistant and some relief, and we will not have success if we don't have somebody that can do the manual administrative things, like keeping the board in the loop of conversations that need to take place. It's kind of hard to be in the field and run an office. I'm not in the field, but it's hard to run operations without support staff. Professionals can't run efficiently without support staff. I know the manager can't run the village without a support staff. It would be virtually impossible, so we gotta get a body there. So I'm asking you, Mr. Superintendent, to put the notice out to start looking to hire someone to get the support that you need. Because if you don't, you're gonna have failure. Leaders need support staff, and you can't run an effective agency without the support. You gotta have someone that can help you with your reports and type it in the packets and stuff like that, because we get piecemealed everything. This board shouldn't have to get piecemeal anything. We should get everything, we should have one point of contact. Whether it's with Kelly or with your office, it's gotta be an office of administration. And that's what this agency, I mean, I've been on the board for 4 years. And I've seen the lack, even in your predecessor, I've seen the lack of administrative support services that we didn't have. And we're giving you an opportunity to bring that person in, and we have the money that can do it, because we haven't been paying salary for some time. And we're getting ready to go into another fiscal year where we can budget for it. So that's not an issue of concern for me. I can't speak for Mayor Perry, but I'm sure he would probably agree with me in this area.
Okay, so, move forward, post the job, and get it out, okay?
Yeah, start
Will do.
interviewing people for it, send it over to, the Village of Westchester so they can post it, because it may be a qualified person in the Village of Westchester that may want to pick up some part-time hours, or in the Village of Broadview, we want to hire somebody local from our own community to be able to assist.
Okay,
So if you could do that, that would be good, and let's just get the job done. That's all I have for the superintendent.
okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
We have no close or executive session. Mike,
None tonight.
I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you, you too.
Y'all take care of my friend.
You got it.